It's my second full day in Curitiba, and yesterday I stayed local to where the hostel was and saw the sights around there, but today I'm going out. There is so much to see all around this city and it's spread out so far. So the best way to go and see everything is by this. It's the hop on, hop off tourist bus, and it's only cost 50 real. When I say only cost, it's within my budget for the day, and I've started big. I've got the bus to Jardim Botânico, which is the Botanical Gardens, but this is the centerpiece of the city. Basically it's a greenhouse full of plants, but it's French style. Now there's a lot of European influences around this city, and that's because in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was a massive influx of Europeans, and they came from Germany, Italy, Poland and Ukrainian mainly. There are other influences, but they're the main ones. Now I have been to the tourist information office, which is just over there, and I've got an English language map telling me everything about all the stops I need to go to, and I am going to try and do as many as I can. But let's have a little wander over to this little thing over here. Well, little thing, massive. So the gardens themselves was inaugurated in 1991, and it has a French style feel, seemingly, according to this thing here. And the greenhouse exhibits lots of tropical plants from around the world. Now it looks like you can go on each floor. Might as well have a wander. Alright. I mean, I'm not really into plants unless they're exciting stuff. It is quite warm in here as well. Oh, climb the steps. When you climb up, you do realise it's not actually quite big inside. And there's no labels on the plants to say what they are, except they're tropical. But even as you walk around, there's another greenhouse over there. So many plants. Now on the bus itself, it was packed. So obviously there's a lot of tourism in the city, even though I've never even heard of it until I came here yesterday, 2 days ago. But it's really, really nice. It's a lot different from other Brazilian cities in Brazil. So the Four Seasons Gallery. This is a cultural space that represents the colours and textures of each season. I'm guessing the seasons of Brazil and not UK, because there'll be a lot of dead plants. It's very colourful. Oh, don't you just love kids? Very pretty. That was really good. Enjoyed that. And I'm back out, and I'm stood outside the tourist bus stop opposite a mural of Charlie Chaplin for some reason. Now, when you get onto the bus, initially you buy your ticket, which gives you the permission to go on and off as many times as you want. There are 26 stops. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm going to just do the majority that are interesting to me, probably about 5 or 6. and that's mainly because of the fact I started late. I made a mistake of charging my phone last night, plugging it in, but not plugging it into the wall. Oops. So this morning I had 3% on my phone when I woke up. I went, this needs to be done now. That took an hour. So right now it's 12:30. Just got to wait for the bus to turn up and go to the next stop. So I'm back on the bus being like a proper tourist with lots of other tourists ready to go to the next place. Right, next stop, and it is the, I can't remember what this is, Paseo Público, which is basically the public park, the oldest public park in the city. Unfortunately, it's closed. You can't get in. It's closed every Monday and Tuesday, which they did not mention on the bus. And I was looking forward to this because you can get animals inside and watch. So the buses are every 20 minutes, so it's just been a bit of a waste. But all the way around, you got marble arches going into the park and a fence line that just tells you can't get in. But that is the main entrance. Looks like I'm going to have to have a wander back to the bus stop and wait for the next bus. Because I mean, there's only 2 of us that got off the bus. They must have known. So while I wait at this bus stop for the next church bus to turn up, across the road is the park, oldest park in the city. But then you've got this across the road from it, and this is the Arabian Memorial, and inside is a library. It's a Moorish design according to my little paperwork. And it's in memorial of the Arabs that came across over here. 50 minutes waiting and back on the bus. And I'll probably get off when lots more people get off. One of the largest museums in Latin America. I'm not getting off.
Tá bom. Vamos parar no próximo.
Oh. Just found out it's closed. It's a Monday. So I'm now at the next stop, and I do have a confession to make. Them buses are very therapeutic, very relaxing, with the wind going through your hair and just looking around the whole city. You can just close your eyes and before you know it, you have a little snooze to the point where you miss a few stops. And one of the stops I wanted to go to was the Opera House, which I missed. Oops. But this is Tingui Park, and this is dedicated to the first occupants of Curitiba, the Tingui Indians. And the only reason I got off here was because as I woke up the bus stopped and I went, oh, better get off. So it's meant to be a big park, as I've just found out. There is a Ukrainian Memorial as well around here. So I'll have a walk around. There's not another bus for about 20 minutes. So I might as well make the most of it. It's now 2:45. Oops. The park is quite big. It seems to be just a lake with a walkway going all the way around it. But here's a monument to the indigenous people that were here first. And then there is a flagpole with a flag. at the top, which I have no idea what it is. So the walkway goes all the way around, and there doesn't seem to be a lot over there apart from runners, but there's a shortcut, I'm assuming, that'll take you halfway around and then back ready time for the bus. So somewhere around here is a Ukrainian Memorial. Can't find it. I've had a look around. I've looked on 2 offline maps. It's not listed. There is a little guide on there. Didn't tell you where it is. But I'm going to go back to the bus stop. It's very interesting around here, but not a lot to see. So the bus has just left. It was packed, and I just came off to the next stop. And the reason there was no Ukrainian Memorial in the last place is because it's here. Memorial Ukrainian, no. Everything seems to have an O at the end, but this is quite good. It's not actually listed on here as a separate stop. So because it was so full, I was actually just stood around because so many people got off. I thought, let's do it. Wow. So there's not a lot of information around, but there's a little sign in Portuguese, got a date of 1995. So I'm assuming this was inaugurated for the memorial of all the Ukrainians that came across as immigrants in the late 1800s. Right, I'll have a wander in here. Oh wow. There is a little sign in there with the date of 1930s, so I'm assuming that's when the mass immigration from Ukraine came across here. It's peaceful. Can't stop looking at that house over there. That looks beautiful. It's not someone rich. That was a bit different. I was too busy chatting to the guys at the bus stop who just got on the bus. I was assuming it was the tourist one. It was a local bus, but your tickets still work on it. So this is Little Italy, and I'm just glad that I know that that is the tourist bus stop. Right, there's a sign down there, so I'll have a little read of it, find out what this is all about. So this area is Santa Felicidad, and it's where the first colony of Italians came to in Curitiba, and from there in 1978 they started the Italian traditions of wineries, restaurants we still live on today, and that's chocolate. So I don't know how big this place is, and because I got the local bus, that means the tourist bus is not too far behind, so I don't have to wait 20 minutes. But this place looks interesting. I'll have a look around. I'll be honest, it didn't scream Italy. I mean, there's an old-fashioned chocolate factory there, shop. There's an old-fashioned apple repair shop up there. But apart from that, it's not really Italian, not even a pizza place. This has a bit of Italian feeling about it, like the Colosseum, but it's a restaurant. Yeah, I think I might just go back to the bus stop and go to the next place. the tourist bus this time. Just across the road from where the bus stop is, I just saw this. I'm assuming this is the Italians that came along. Grapes. Across that way is a shop selling Italian stuff, which is wines and chocolates. And as the bus drives off, I'm back in the centre with the hostel just round the corner. It is now coming up to 20 to 5 at night. Oh my god, and I've just realised what the hostel is that way. We have had a good day. It's been interesting. It's been relaxing, some of it, and I think if I had the chance to do it again, I'd probably do it at 8:30 when it starts and just not later on. But if you've enjoyed it, then all you've got to do is press that like button. Tomorrow I am off to somewhere new and I just need to sit down and work out where I'm going. But if you want to see where I'm going, then all you've got to do is press that subscribe button. But until the next time, bye bye for now.